This lesson is all about evaluating algebraic expressions. What that means is we're going to take all the variables and replace them with the values that they are representing or they are given with. Here's some examples. If someone asks you to evaluate an expression, all that means is replace the variables or the letters with the numbers that have been given. One very important thing that I advise you to do is to first rewrite your expression with little brackets instead of your letters. That allows you to input the numbers and all of the mathematical operations are still intact and don't change. This is exceptionally important if you're squaring or you have some more complicated expressions, but it is a good habit to get into, and it also makes your work look a lot neater. So in this case, we want half base times height, which is actually the formula for area of a triangle, if you remember that. So let's pretend that the base here was 5 and the height was 6. So we're going to replace the b with a 5 and replace the h with a 6. Now, remember, when you don't see a mathematical operation, it means times. So really we're going half times 5 times 6. So all you have to do now is evaluate that and perform that calculation. You could type in 1 divided by 2 times 5 times 6 on a calculator, or you could notice that because multiplication is commutative, we can always switch any two of these numbers. And so if you went 1/2 times 6 times 5 instead, you'd notice half of 6 is quite easy to calculate, which is 3. So you have 3 times 5, which is 15. Just a tip on how to do it in your head. Let's try the next one. You can pause the video and try it and see if you get it. So 2 times t minus t squared. And we want to calculate that, in this case, for 3 different values. So let's just make a table here. If t is -1, we're going to replace these brackets with -1s. That gives us 2 times -1, you're using bedmiss here, giving you -2 minus a -1 in a bracket squared means -1 times itself, which is a +1. But this negative is still hanging out. So you still have -2 minus 1, giving you -3. All right, let's try t equals 0. So same thing, I'm going to rewrite the little cookie cutout there and shove in the zeros for the t's. 2 times 0 is 0, minus 0 squared is 0 is 0. T equals 1. 2 times 1 is 2, minus 1 times 1 is 1, is 2 minus 1 gives us 1. So we have our answers there. Here's another one. This formula here is known to convert Fahrenheit degrees to Celsius degrees. So using that formula, we want to convert -34 degrees Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius. So we know the degrees Celsius for -34 degrees Fahrenheit will be given by 5 times the Fahrenheit amount minus 32 over 9. And like a computer, we're going to input this bracket, we're going to replace it with a -34 from there. Let's try that out. Bedmiss requires us to follow the brackets first, so let's complete inside this bracket first. -34 minus 32 gives us -66. It's all over 9. So you could go 5 times -66 divided by 9 and find the answer. So let's try that. 5 times -66 divided by 9. And that gives us -36.6 repeated, which I'm going to round to 7. and that's degrees Celsius.